Hey guys, in this video we want to talk about present value, but we want to use present value with MRP and MRC. We want to use the present value of MRP. So to kind of refresh our memory, we know that the profit maximization input point, the profit maximization loss minimization input point is where the marginal revenue product is equal to the marginal resource cost. And remember, MRP, the added revenue from the added output, has elements of MR and MP in it. And MRC, the marginal resource cost, the added cost from the added input, has elements of marginal cost and marginal product in it. So we know that when we're employing labor, we just look for where the marginal revenue product of that laborer is equal to the marginal resource cost of that laborer. That would be the optimal employment point. And it's okay if the MRP is a little bit bigger. Hey, if the MRP is a lot bigger, it's telling us to employ more of those like factors. So we want to get to a point where they're equal. The thing is with capital, capital generates revenue into future time horizons, far from now. So we need to somehow get those future MRPs, that future value, and bring it back into today's terms so we can compare it with today's cost. That's really what present value does for us. It takes those future MRPs, those future revenues that we haven't earned yet, that we'll only earn if we make an investment into new capital. It takes that future MRP, it brings it back into today's terms so we can compare it with today's cost, with today's MRC. With labor, it's all in the same short time horizon. With capital, you have to take the future and bring it back to today's terms. So let's take a look at present value. So your book uses this notation for present value. It's the value presently. Hey, there's no operator here. It's V sub P. We're not multiplying. It just denotes the present value. That's going to be equal to the value some time from now. T stands for the term or time. So that's the future value that we think we're going to earn if we make this investment. Remember, everything is on the margin here. Our firm is operating, it's making revenues, it's suffering costs. The question is, should we make this investment? Should we employ this new capital? But we have to somehow get the future revenue from that capital back to today's terms so we can compare it with today's cost. That's going to be the future value over 1 plus the interest rate. So this is the number 1, and in lots of equations like this, the number 1 in the denominator is a placeholder. It holds the value of the numerator. This little r is the interest rate. And interest is really a complex idea in economics. We think of many components that make up the interest rate. For example, the alternative use premium for whatever that capital was, a risk premium, an inflation premium. All of that's important in understanding the interest rate. And all of this is going to be raised to the exponent of the term. So we can make an investment for any time period, for 30 days or for 30 years. It doesn't matter. So this is the equation for present value. The present value is equal to the future value of MRP over 1 plus the interest rate raised to the term. So let's kind of see what we're using this equation for. We want to take the future value that's going to be earned if we make some investment into capital, the future value. We want to bring it back to today's terms so we get the present value of MRP so we can compare it with today's MRC. So that's what we're doing here with present value. So in future videos we're going to take a look at present value and we are going to plug some numbers in so we can better understand it. So what's the whole reason why we need present value? We need present value in order to take some future revenues that we haven't earned yet as a firm. We want to take those future revenues, bring them back to today's terms so we can compare them with today's costs. We don't have to use present value with labor. With labor, it generates revenue and output and cost all in the same short time horizon. With capital, it generates revenue in the future. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and look for the next video on present value.